Ladies and gentlemen, we will be starting the duas in the next few minutes. 2 minutes, please. Come upstairs. Ladies and gentlemen, we will be starting the dua in 2 minutes. Thank you. Did you sign up for any other day? Yeah. I signed up for every day. Every day? Yeah, that I was here. Which day? Which days did you sign up for? I signed up for basically every day except for next Friday. Because, yeah. Look at this. Let me show something to you. Okay? So you don't accuse me of playing any games. Yeah. She sent me a text saying nobody has signed up for it. You better find out whether she's getting the paper. So maybe I let you read tomorrow. Ask.
Should I start?
1 minute now. Okay. 8:25 we start.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. Allahumma rabba shahri Ramadan. Allazi anzalta fihi al-Quran. وافترضت على عبادك في الصيام صل على محمد وعلى محمد وارزقني حج بيتك الحرام في عام هذا وفي كل عام واغفر لي تلك الذنوب والإثام فإنه لا يغفرها غيرك يا رحمن يا علام.
اللهم صل على محمد وعلى محمد.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. اللهم إني أفتتح ثناء بحمدك وأنت مسدد لصواب بمنك وأيقنت أنك أنت أرحم الراحمين في موضع العفو والرحمة وشد المعاقبين في موضع النكال والنكمة وأتم المتجبرين في موضع الكبرياء والعظمة. اللهم أذنت لي في دعائك ومسألتك فاسمع يا سميع مدحتي وجب يا رحيم دعوتي وكل يا غفور أثرتي فكم يا إلهي من كربة قد فرجتها وهموم قد كشفتها وأثرة قد أقلتها ورحمة قد نشرتها وحلقة بلاء قد فككتها. الحمد لله الذي لم يتخذ صاحبة ولا ولدا لم يكن له شريك في الملك ولم يكن له ولي من الذل وكبره تكبيرا.
اللهم صل على محمد وعلى محمد.
الحمد لله بجميع محامده كلها على جميع نعمه كلها. الحمد لله الذي لا مزاد له في ملكه ولا منازع له في أمره. الحمد لله الذي لا شريك له في خلقه ولا شبيه له في عظمته. الحمد لله فاشف الخلق أمره وحمده الظاهر بالكرم مجده الباسط بالجود يديه الذي لا تنقص خزائنه ولا تزيده كثرة العطاء إلا جود وكرما، إنه هو العزيز الوهاب. اللهم إني أسألك قليلا من كثير مع حاجة بإليه عظيما، وغناك عنه قديم، وهو عندي كثير، وهو عليك سهل يسير. اللهم إن عفوك عن ذنبي، وتجاوزك عن خطيئتي، وصفك عن ظلمي، وسترك على قبيح عملي، وحلمك عن كثير جرمي، عندما كان من خطائي وعمدي، أطمعني في أن أسألك ما لا أستوجبه منك، الذي رزقتني من رحمتك، وريتني من قدرتك، وعرفتني من إجابتك، فصرت أدعوك آمنا، وأسألك مستأنسا، لا خائفا ولا وجلا، مدلا عليك فيما كسدت فيه إليك، فإن أبت أني أتبت بجهلي عليك، ولعل الذي أبت أني هو خير لي لعلمك بعاقبة الأمور. فلم أرى مولا كريما أصبر على عبدي لئيم منك علي. يا رب إنك تدعوني فأولي عنك، وتتحبب إلي فتبغض إليك، وتتودد إلي فلا أقبل منك، كأن ليتطاول عليك، فلم يمنعك ذلك من الرحمة لي والإحسان إلي والتفضل علي بجودك وكرمك، فارحم عبدك الجاهل وجد عليه بفضل إحسانك، إنك جواد كريم. الحمد لله مالك الملك، مجري الفلك، مسخر الرياح، فالك الأسباب، ديان ديني رب العالمين. الحمد لله على حلمه بعد علمه، والحمد لله على عفوه بعد قدرته، والحمد لله على طول أناته في غضبه، وهو قادر على ما يريد. الحمد لله خالق الخلق، باسط الرزق، فالك الأسباب، ذو الجلال والإكرام والفضل والإنعام، الذي بعد فلا يرى، وقرب فشهد النجوى، تبارك وتعالى. الحمد لله الذي ليس له منازع يعادل، ولا شبيه يشاكل، ولا ظهير يعارض، قهر بعزة العزة، وتواضع لعظمته العظمى، فبلغ بقدرته ما يشاء. الحمد لله الذي يجيبني حين أنادي، ويستر علي كل عورة ونعاسي، ويؤذم نعمة علي فلا أجازي، فكم من موهبة حنية قد أعطاني، وعظيمة مخوفة قد كفاني، وبعثة مونكة قد أراني، فاثني عليه حامدا، واذكره مسبها. الحمد لله الذي لا يفتق حجابه، ولا يغلق بابه، ولا يرد سائل، ولا يخيب عامل. الحمد لله الذي يؤمن الخائفين، وينجي الصالحين، ويرفع المستضعفين، ويدع المستكبرين، ويهلك ملوكا ويستخلف آخرين. والحمد لله قاسم الجبارين، مبين الظالمين، مدرك الحاربين، مكان الظالمين، صريق المستزرقين، موذي حاجات الطالبين، معتمد المؤمنين. الحمد لله الذي من خشيته ترعد السماء وسكانها، وترجف الأرض وأمارها، وتموج البحار ومن يسبح في غمراتها. الحمد لله الذي هدانا لهذا، وما كنا لنهتدي لولا أن هدانا الله. الحمد لله الذي يخلق ولم يخلق، ويرزق ولا يرزق، ويطعم ولا يطعم، ويميت الأحياء ويحيي الموتى، وهو حي لا يموت، بيده الخير، وهو على كل شيء قدير. اللهم صل على محمد عبدك ورسولك وأمينك وصفيك وحبيبك وخيرتك من خلقك وحافظ سرك ومبلغ رسالاتك أفضل وأحسن وأجمل وأكمل وأزكى وأما وأطيب وأطهر وأسنى وأكثر ما صليت وباركت وترحمت وتحننت وسلمت على أحد من عبادك وأنبيائك ورسولك وصفتك وأهل الكرامة عليك من خلقك اللهم وصل على علي أمير المؤمنين ووزير رسول رب العالمين عبدك ووليك وخير رسولك وحجتك على خلقك وآيتك الكبرى والنبأ العظيم وصل على الصديقة الطاهرة فاطمة الزهراء سيدة نساء العالمين وصل على سبط الرحمة وإمام الهدى الحسن والحسين سيد شباب أهل الجنة وصل على أئمة المسلمين علي بن الحسين ومحمد بن علي وجعفر بن محمد وموسى بن جعفر وعلي بن موسى ومحمد بن علي وعلي بن محمد والحسن بن علي والخلفاء الهادي المهدي وجزك على عبادك ومنائك في بلادك صلاة كثيرة دائمة اللهم وصل على ولي أمرك القائم المؤمل والأرض المنتظر وحفه بملائكتك المقربين ويده بروح القدس يا رب العالمين اللهم اجعله الداعي إلى كتابك والقائم بدينك استخلفه في الأرض كما استخلفت الذين من قبله مكن له دينه الذي ارتزيته الله أبدله من بعد خوفه أمنا يعبدك لا يشرك بك شيئا اللهم أعده وعزز به وانصره وانتصر به وانصره نصرا عزيزا وافتح له فتحا يسيرا واجعل له من لدنك سلطانا نصيرا اللهم أظهر به دينك وسنة نبيك حتى لا يستخفي بشيء من الحق مخافة أحد من الخلق اللهم إنا نرغب إليك في دولة كريمة تؤد بها الإسلام وأهله وتذل بها النفاق وأهله وتجعلنا فيها من الدعاة إلى طاعتك والقادة إلى سبيلك وترزقنا بها كرامة الدنيا والآخرة اللهم ما عرفتنا من الحق فحملنا وما كسرنا عنه فبلغنا اللهم المن به شعتنا واشعب به صدأنا وارتق به فتكنا وكثر به كلتنا وزز به زلتنا واغن به عائلنا واغض به عن مغرمنا واجبر به فقرنا وسد به قلتنا ويسر به أسرنا وبيض به وجوهنا وفك به عسرنا وانشف به طلبتنا وانجز به مواعيدنا واستجب به دعوتنا واعطنا به سؤلنا وبلغنا به من الدنيا والآخرة أعمالنا واعطنا به فوق رغبتنا يا خير المسؤولين وأوسع المعطين اشفي به صدورنا واذهب به غيظ قلوبنا واعطنا به لمختلف فيه من الحق بإذنك إنك تهدي من تشاء إلى صراط مستقيم وانصرنا به على عدوك وعدونا إلى الحق آمين اللهم إنا نشكو إليك فقر نبينا صلواتك عليه وعلى وغيبة ولينا وكثرة عدونا وقلة عددنا وشدة الفتن بنا وتظاهر الزمان علينا وصل على محمد وعليه وإنا على ذلك بفتح منك تؤجله وبزر تكشفه ونصر تعزه وسلطان حق تظهره ورحمة منك تجليناها وعافية منك تلبسناها برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى محمد. اللهم برحمتك في الصالحين فادخلنا وفي إلين فارفعنا وبكأس من معين من عين سلسبيل فاسقنا ومن الحور العين برحمتك فزوجنا ومن الولدان المخلدين كأنهم لؤلؤ مكنون فاقدمنا ومن ثمار الجنة والأم الطير فاطمنا ومن ثياب السندس والحرير والاستبرق فالبسنا وليلة القدر وحج بيتك الحرام وقتلا في سبيلك فوفق لنا وسالي الدعاء والمسألة فاستجب لنا وإذا جمعت الأولين والآخرين يوم القيامة فارحمنا وبراءة من النار فاكتب لنا وفي جهنم فلا تغلنا وفي عذابك وهوانك فلا تبتلنا ومن الزقوم والزري فلا تطعمنا مع الشياطين فلا تجعلنا وفي النار على وجوهنا فلا تكببنا ومن ثياب النار ومن ثياب النار وسرابيل القطران فلا تلبسنا ومن كل سوء يا لا إله إلا أنت بحق لا إله إلا أنت فنجنا. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. اللهم إني أسألك أن تجعل فيما تقضي وتقدر من الأمر المحتوم في الأمر الحكيم من القضاء الذي لا يرد ولا يبدل أن تكتبني من حجاج بيتك الحرام المبرور حجهم المشكور سعيهم المغفور ذنوبهم المكفر عن سيئاتهم وأن تجعل فيما تقضي وتقدر أن تطيل عمري في خير وعافية وتوسع في رزقي وتجعلني ممن تنتصر به لدينك ولا تستبدل بي غيري. أعوذ بجلال وجهك الكريم أن ينقضي عني شهر رمضان أو يطلع الفجر من ليلة هذه ولك قبلي تبية أو ذنب تؤدبني عليه. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى محمد. يا ذا الذي كان قبل كل شيء ثم خلق كل شيء ثم يبقى ويفنى كل شيء. يا ذا الذي ليس كمثله شيء ويا ذا الذي ليس في السماوات أولى ولا في الأرضين سفلى ولا فوقهن ولا تحتهن ولا بينهن إله يعبد غيره. لك الحمد حمدا لا يقوى على إحصائها إلا أنت. فصل على محمد وعلى محمد صلاة لا يقوى على إحصائها إلا أنت. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. إلهي وقف السائلون ببابك ولا زال الفقراء بجنابك ووقفت سفينة المساكين على ساحل بحر جودك وكرمك يرجون الجواز إلى ساحة رحمتك ونعمتك. إلهي إن كنت لا تغفر في هذا الشهر الشريف إلا لمن أخلص لك في صيامه وقيامه فمن للمذنب المقصر إذا غرق في بحر ذنوبه وآثامه. إلهي إن كنت لا ترحم إلا المطيعين فمن للآسين وإن كنت لا تقبل إلا من العاملين فمن للمكسرين إلهي ربي الصائمون وفاض القائمون ونجا المخلصون ونحن عبيدك المذنبون فارحمنا برحمتك واعتقنا من النار بعفوك يا كريم يا أرحم الراحمين وصلى الله على محمد وآل الطاهرين. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى محمد. اللهم أدخل أهل القبور السرور. اللهم أغني كل فقير. اللهم أشبع كل جائع. اللهم اكس كل عريان. اللهم اقض دين كل مدين. اللهم فرج عن كل مكروب. اللهم رد كل غريب. اللهم فك كل أسير. اللهم أصلح كل فاسد من أمور المسلمين. اللهم اشف كل مريض. اللهم صد فقرنا بغناك. اللهم غير سوء حالنا بحسن حالك. اللهم اقض عنا الدين واغننا من الفقر إنك على كل شيء قدير.
और मोहम्मद व आले मोहम्मद सलावत।
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين خاتم النبيين شفيع المذنبين رحمة للعالمين مولانا وسيدنا أبي القاسم محمد اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آله الطيبين الطاهرين لا سيما بقية الله في الأرض مولانا حجة ابن الحسن عجل الله تعالى فرجه الشريف اللهم صل على محمد وعلى محمد ولعنة الله على أعدائهم أجمعين من الآن إلى قيام يوم الدين أما بعد. Muhtaram Maulana Sahib, my elders, brothers and sisters, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. These daily du'as which we recite, especially these one-liners, these are very, very special. Yesterday we discussed the dua for the day of 7th of Mahi Ramadan. And you saw just in one line how much if you spend and think and reflect, you can take a lot of meaning just from these one-line duas. Let alone all of those different duas which we have, dua Abu Hamza, dua Iftitah, which we just recited, dua Kumail, dua Tawassul. All of these are gems, all of these are the legacies of what we have in our treasures and in our Shia tradition. These have been inspired to us from our Imams. The Imams have written these, Imams have authored these, and the companions around them, they recorded these, and these have reached us, alhamdulillah. It's one of the proud things that we have in Shiaism, that we have these du'as. Other sects of Islam don't have this kind of du'a. It's been narrated that during the days of Hajj, years ago, during the Hajj, we've gone through a few different times, and once upon a time, there was actually sanctioned recitation of Dua Kumail. They used to allow the Iranians especially to gather around Jannatul Baqi or in Jannatul Baqi or just outside and to recite one Dua Kumail. That was the kind of established, sanctioned Dua Kumail that was recited in public. Now, I guess that doesn't happen actually, from what I understand. I haven't been on Hajj for a few years, but I understand that doesn't happen anymore. But during that recitation, one of the Saudi you can say alims or scholars, he heard this dua. He heard this dua. And he says, this dua which the Shias have, what is this dua? So he was told, this is Dua Kumail. He says, this is such a beautiful dua. When do they recite this? So he was told they recite this typically every Thursday. He says, what a shame. If I had this dua, if we had this dua, I would recite it every day. What a shame that they only recite it every Thursday. What a powerful, wonderful dua it is. These duas from Amirul Mu'mineen, these duas from Imam Sajjad alayhi salam, these Sahifa Sajjadiyah, these are treasures for the Shias. These are treasures that we have. But it requires a little bit of time, effort, and thought and reflection to be able to take from it the valuable lessons. Otherwise, yes, to recite the dua just like we do is a sawab in itself, is a good deed in itself. We'll get rewarded, inshallah. But really, if you can sit down, reflect, look at the meaning, look at the words being used, especially when we get to the Shabhaya Qadr, Dua Abu Hamza especially, Dua Makarim al-Akhlaq especially. These are treasures that we have in our mazhab. So the dua that we had for today, the one-liner, it was like this. We said in this dua, Allahumma rzuqni, oh Allah, grant me, fihi, in this day, rahmatal aitam. Give me the ability to have kindness and compassion and mercy towards the orphans. Wa it'amat ta'am. Give me the grace that I can feed people food. Wa ifsha as-salam. Give me the tawfiq that when I meet people, I give them salam. I greet them with the Islamic greeting of salamun alaykum, that I give people peace from myself. Wa suhbat al-kiram. Allow me to keep company with those people who are noble and good people. Bitawlika ya malja al-amilin. By your grace and your kindness, oh, the one who gives refuge to those who have hope in him. So when we break this down, let's have a look at what this is saying, inshallah, with a salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Muhammad. Allahumma rzuqni fihi rahmatal aitam. In Islam, Islam is not just a personal religion that we go, we pray, praying is personal, we fast, fasting is personal. Along with these personal ibadat and worships, we also have a social responsibility. Islam says that you have two things in the religion. You have haqqullah and haqqun nas. Rights of Allah upon you and rights of people upon you. The rights of Allah are what? To believe in Him, to worship Him, to respect Him, to be humble in front of Him, to speak to Him, to supplicate to Him, to get to know Him. These are the rights of Allah upon us. And we'll have to answer for these rights. One day He will ask us, what did you do with these rights which I had given you? On the other hand, we have haqqun nas, the rights of people upon us. We should not think that, I'm okay, my family is okay, and that's all that matters. No, we do have responsibility to the rest of the people. First and foremost, to our wider family. First and foremost, to our wider family, Silatul Rahim. Make sure your close and dear ones are taken care of. Make sure they're okay. Make sure you check in on them. Make sure you keep contact with them, Silatul Rahim. Secondly, towards mu'mineen. Mu'mineen have a big haqq upon us. The haqq of mu'mineen should not be underestimated. The mu'mineen's haqq is very, very large. We treat them with respect. We don't backbite. We don't do zulm upon them. We don't cheat them. We treat them with utmost respect. We treat them actually like we want to be treated ourselves. This is in hadith. Amir al-Mu'mineen says in his will and testament, if you look at Nahj Balagha, Amir al-Mu'mineen has two wills. One is the normal will that we do before we die, and the other one is the will which he narrated to Imam Hassan alayhi salam after the battle of Siffin. In that he goes into great depth. He tells his son how to live, and this of course was a message for all of us afterwards. In that he says, be with others that you would like to happen for yourself. Act with others like you would like someone to act with you. Every time you meet someone, every time you are with someone, every time you are interacting with people, have this thought in your mind. Khudaya, I need to act with this person the way I would like to be acted with by another person. If we do this honestly, I don't think we would violate anyone's haqq, because we ourselves would not like to be violated. So we have to think about the fellow humans we share this earth with. We have to think about the environment. We have to think about sustainability. We have to think about pollution, for example. We have to think about all of these things. These are all hukuk which Allah has put upon us as believers. Islam wants us to build a sense of responsibility for the advancement of all sectors of society. This is one of the key things in Islam, that no one should be left out. No, everyone should be taken care of. Everyone should be looked after. Especially the orphans. In this dua, we are saying, Allahumma rzuqni fihi rahmatal aitam. Oh Allah, give me the grace that I may look after and be merciful towards the orphans of society. Orphans have been singled out in Islam again and again. فَأَمَّا الْيَتِيمَ فَلَا تَقْهَرْ. Quran says, the orphan, as for the orphan, do not oppress him. In our society, in the Western world, yes, we don't have so much opportunity to directly interact and to do good with orphans, maybe. Usually, these things are taken care of by the state and by other means. But definitely wherever we can, maybe abroad, maybe in other places, if we don't have the opportunity here, we should definitely be looking at taking care of the orphans of society. Why? Well, simply because they don't have anyone. They don't have anyone. We then become their sort of fathers and mothers that we have to take care of them. If you want to see the best example of how orphans are taken care of, look at Amirul Mu'mineen. This month we are going to commemorate his shahadat of Mawla-e-Kainat. How he used to look after the orphans of society. There's no exaggeration that after Mawla was martyred, the first people to feel his absence apart from his family were the orphans of society. The orphans of Kufa, they would say, where is that man who would come with his face covered? We didn't know who he was. Where is he? He used to sit with us. He used to feed us. He would sit us on his own lap and feed us with his own hands. Ashab of Amirul Mu'mineen, companions of Amirul Mu'mineen used to say, when we used to see Ali, the way he used to take care of orphans, how he would stroke their heads, how he would make them sit on his lap, how he would feed them with his own blessed hand. We used to say in our hearts, Khudaya, I wish I would have been one of those orphans to be taken care of in this way by Amirul Mu'mineen. I wish I would have been one of those orphans. This was the extent. In one report, we see the following. Now remember, Mawla is the Khalifa. Imam he was, of course. We always believe that as soon as the Holy Prophet leaves this world, Khalifatun bila fasl is Amirul Mu'mineen. We don't need any official title to be put on him or him to be sitting on the throne or sitting on the seat of Khilafat. We believe that he was the rightful Imam no matter what. Whether other people say he was number 4 in the list or whatever, we say no. For us, Amirul Mu'mineen is always number 1, whether the other people recognized him or not. So at the time of his Khilafat, he sees a woman. This woman has children, small children. She is taking so much trouble. He sees her doing the shopping, getting the things for her household, carrying them with so much difficulty, taking care of her children at the same time. Amirul Mu'mineen looks at this scene and he goes to the woman and he says, let me carry your shopping. She allows him to carry the shopping. He takes the shopping. He says, allow me now to accompany to your house. He goes to the house. He takes the shopping to the house. He says to her, allow me to cook for you. She says, no, this is not necessary. Thank you very much. You've brought it to. He said, no, allow me to cook for you. He goes inside the house. He cooks the meal. He cooks the dinner with his own blessed hands. He cooks for this woman. Then the food is done. And then he looks at the children. The children are without the father. Where is the father? The father was shaheed. Amirul Mu'mineen feels this sense of responsibility that a shaheed in this society, obviously when someone gets martyred, they are killed in the way of Allah. The family is left. Now what to do with the family? What does he do? Look at the humility. Look at the brilliance of this man. To cheer up the children, he says, come. They come. He gets down on all fours, pretends to be like an animal, pretends to be like a horse, and says, get on my back. I will take you round, like a father would to his own children. The children sit on the back of Amirul Mu'mineen. Gambar says, Mawla, let me do something. He says, no, let me do it. I want to do it. I will do it. He plays with the children. He plays with them. He cheers them up. He makes them laugh. He gives them a good time. This family, okay, for one day maybe, for half a day maybe, feels a little bit of relief, feels a little bit of happiness. This is Amirul Mu'mineen. This is our Aimma alayhimus salam. Despite being the most ferocious warrior in the battles, but in his other times, he was the most kind, compassionate, considerate person. In some of his ziyarat, what do we say? We say, Kunta aban ra'ufa. Amirul Mu'mineen, you were our kind father. Ziyarats. We salute him by saying, Assalamu alayka, Ya Amir, Kunta aban ra'ufa. You were a kind father for this ummah. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sallam, he says that Ana wa Ali abawa hadhihi al-ummah. Me and Ali are the two fathers of this nation. The two fathers of this nation. You know, in the Holy Prophet's time, regarding the Holy Prophet, times were so tough. Sometimes we look at our own position and we think times are tough. Money is scarce. Rizq is limited. Rozi ke andar tangi hai. We feel a little bit of constraint. We feel our provisions are not enough. Sustenance is not enough. Income is not enough. Wallahi al-azim, if you would have seen the state of Rasulullah and Amirul Mu'mineen, you would have cried. You would have said, no one can live like this. No one can live as simply as they lived. Rasul Khuda, he used to have such little provision. He used to have such little provision for himself. It is famous about him that he would tie a stone to his stomach. He would tie a stone to his stomach. Why? To relieve the pains and the pangs of hunger which he used to feel. No one understood this. No one knew why he was doing this. No one really understood this until the time of Imam Ja'far as-Sadiq alayhi salam. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad. Imam Sadiq alayhi salam was asked, why did the Prophet used to tie this stone on his stomach? Imam Sadiq alayhi salam explained, because he was at the level of the father of the nation. He was at the level of the father of the nation. He went hungry because his nation was hungry. He went hungrier than other people because his nation was hungry. And it is ugly that a father is filled with food, but the children are hungry. Because other people were hungry, because his spiritual children of this nation were hungry, he went hungry as well. This is Aimma alayhimus salam. This is how much level of respect and consideration they had for other people. Rasulullah says in one hadith to Amirul Mu'mineen, he says, Ya Ali, arba'un, 4 people there are. Man kunna fihi, banallahu lahu baytan fil jannah. These 4 people, whoever is like these 4 people, Allah will prepare a house in heaven for that person. Who are these 4 people? Number 1, man awal yatim. One who looks after an orphan. That person gets a house in heaven. Number 2, wa rahimad da'if, who has kindness and mercy upon one who is weaker than him. Rahimad da'if. Da'if in society, the weak ones in society, the poor ones, the struggling ones. Maybe they are poor financially. Maybe they are poor educationally. Maybe they are poor emotionally. Whatever it may be. Man rahimad da'if, whoever has mercy upon the weak ones. Thirdly, wa ashfaqa ala walidayhi wa anfaqa alayhima. One who has kindness towards his 2 parents and spends for them. He spends for them. He takes care of them. They've reached an age where now they are struggling. They can't work as much. They're old. They're physically not able as before. The children need to take care of the parents. In the time of Nabi Musa was once asked Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he says, Khudaya, I want to see the person who is at my level in heaven. Nabi Musa, Nabi of Allah, sinless, infallible, ma'soom, Ulul Azm prophet, one of the 5 Ulul Azm prophets. He says, Khudayat, show me the person who is at my level in heaven. Allah says, go to this person in such and such a place, there you will see. He goes and he meets this person. He looks at this person, he meets him, he says, Salam. They greet each other, he's watching him, he's thinking, what is so special about him? I don't know. Allah is saying that he's at my level in heaven. What is so special about him? Anyway, he stays with him. That person says, would you like to join me for dinner? My house is nearby, come. Nabi Musa says, fine, let's go. He goes with him to his home. He enters the home. He's looking at the home. He's thinking, this is nothing special. I can't see why this person is at my level in heaven. He says, please take a seat. Nabi Musa sits. He says, allow me a few minutes and then we eat. Nabi Musa says, yes, whatever, do what you need to do. And then he sees something very strange. This person, he goes within the house, he goes into a different room. He picks up this old woman, an old kind of very, very old, disabled woman, and he brings her. He makes her sit. He combs her hair. He feeds her with his hands. He washes her hands. He makes sure she's comfortable. He makes sure she's full with food. Make sure he gives her water afterwards. Then the old woman does this. So that man puts his ear next to her mouth. She whispers something. He then takes her back and puts her back into her room. And then he comes and he says, okay, now we can eat together. Nabi Musa says, who was that? He says, this was my mother. I take care of her in this way. Nabi Musa says, then what did she whisper to you? He says, she whispered a prayer. She said, may Allah place you in heaven in the company of Nabi Musa. May Allah place you in heaven in the company of Nabi Musa. Parents, parents, parents. Many of us, we don't have our parents anymore. May Allah bless their souls in the hereafter, inshallah. Those of you who have parents, you are so lucky. You are so, so lucky that you have the ability. Allah has given you the ability that go and serve your parents. Earn for yourself hereafter, akhirat, jannat. It will be yours if you serve your parents. So this was number 3. وَمَنْ أَشْفَقَ عَلَى وَالِدَيْهِ وَأَنْفَقَ عَلَيْهِمَا. Someone who is kind to their parents and spends on them. And the 4th, وَرَفَقَ بِمَمْلُوكِهِ. Someone who is kind and soft on his employee. Someone who is kind to his subordinate. Go easy on people. Allah will go easy on you. Be kind to people, Allah will be kind to you. Be generous to people, Allah will be generous to you. Everything will be mirrored according to the way you treat other people. Imam Jafar Sadiq alayhi salatu wasalam says, Ma min abdin, there is not a single person, yamsahu yadahu ala ra'sil yatim, who strokes the hair of a yatim, puts his hand on the head of a yatim in an affectionate, compassionate way, the way a father would, tarahuman lahu, to show kindness to this yatim, illa a'atahu Allah, except that Allah will give him, bikulli sha'ratin, for every hair on that yatim's head, nuran yawmal qiyamah, a light on the day of judgment. On the day of judgment, people will be in darkness. People will not be able to see. People will be crying out for light. This will be the nur that you or anyone stroke the head of a yatim out of kindness for them. Khudaya, we ask you for tawfiq that we are able to do something for the yatims of the community and for the yatims of the Shia nation. Sallu ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. Wa it'amat ta'am. The second thing in this dua that we say is that Khudaya, give me the ability to feed people. One of the best acts in Islam is to feed the hungry. This is a point which is common amongst all Abrahamic religions. You look at Christianity, you look at Judaism, you look at Islam, all the Abrahamic religions, they hold this very, very important, to feed people. Nabi Ibrahim, as you know, he would never like to eat alone. In the day when he was alone, he would actually get up from his house and go to the road to see, is there anyone passing by? If there was someone passing by, he would take them and say, come, you are my guest tonight. Eat with me. He would never like to eat alone. This has amazing rewards and effects. It has so much barakat. It has so much goodness in it. Allah loves this. You know the famous riwayat regarding Ahlul Bayt alayhim salam, that once Imam Hassan and Imam Hussein alayhim salatu wassalam, Allahumma salli ala they fell ill. They fell ill. And Amirul Mu'mineen and Bibi Fatima, they did a nazar. They said, our nazar is that if the children recover, we will fast for 3 days. The children, alhamdulillah, recovered. They begin to fast. The first day, they fast. The iftar anyway was simple. The iftar at any level was simple. What could they, I told you, they lived in very much simple means and simple manner. So as it is, the iftar was going to be very simple. But what happens at the time of iftar, at the time of Maghrib, someone knocks on the door. Who is it? Miskina wa yatiman wa asira. 3 days in a row, the same thing happens. They're ready for iftar. They get a knock on the door. On the first day, it is a miskin, a needy person. Salamu alaykum ya ahla baytin nubuwa. Salam to you, O Ahl al-Bayt of the Holy Prophet. He says, do you have something for me? Can you give something for me? They would never turn anyone away. They give the iftar to the miskin. Second day, they do the same thing to the yatim. The third day, to the asir, to the prisoner. 3 days in a row, no real iftar. All the iftar was a drink of water. Them, Amirul Mu'mineen, Bibi Fatima, and Imam Hassan and Imam Hussein, and Janab-e Fidda. All of them kept these fasts. It's not easy. 3 days in a row, just having water. After the third day, they meet Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sallam. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa Muhammad. Rasulullah looks at them. He sees so weak. They're so weak. They are pale. The kids are pale. Rasulullah feels pity and compassion. He says, let's go home. They go home. When he sees Janab-e Fatima, even more he becomes emotional. The way Janab-e Fatima was weak, hardly able to stand. Azizan, don't think that, oh, this is some kind of torture. No, no, no. These people knew what they were doing. They did it 100% with their happiness. They did it 100% in the service of God. They did 100% knowing exactly the rewards. Don't think that, oh, they did torture on themselves or Islam is a difficult religion. No, that's not the meaning of the story. The meaning of the story is, look at their level of sacrifice. When Rasulullah saw Janab-e Fatima, he saw Amirul Mu'mineen, he saw the children. At that moment, as he was feeling compassion, Jibreel descends. Jibreel descends and says, Ya Rasulullah, tell Ali and tell Fatima, Allah loved this gesture of theirs so much that in their honor, Surah Hal Ata has been revealed. In their honor, Allahumma salli ala Muhammad. These things can happen for a small thing, giving to someone, sacrificing yourself, giving to other people for a small thing. How much Allah values and loves this. To give iftar is a very, very important thing. Next hadith is from Imam Rada alayhi salatu wassalam. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad. Min mujibati maghfiratillah it'amu ta'am. From the things which causes the forgiveness of Allah is to provide food to those who are hungry, to feed people. Very, very important. Wa ifsha as-salam. The next thing in this dua that we say is, Khudaya, allow me to give peace to people, to spread peace, to give the greeting of peace, to say salam to people. To give salam is one of the teachings in Islam. It's one of the firm practices of Rasulullah. It brings people together. It has lots of blessings in it. Azizan, we, with other mu'mineen and other Muslimin, we should not be saying hi, hello, and these kinds of things. We should be saying Salamun alaykum. It has a lot of barakat, a lot of blessings are in it. It brings people's hearts together. These are not just words that we say which don't have a meaning. They actually make a link between your heart and the other person's heart. Why? Because Allah, anta salam. We say to Allah, you are the source of peace. So when you are engaging with salam to another person, when you say salamun alaikum to another person, you are invoking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That Khudaya, bring our hearts together. Give this person peace. Give them peace in their mind. Give them peace in their heart. Salam has so many rewards. Some hadiths say 100 rewards, 99 for the one who begins salam, 1 reward for the one who answers. Some riwayat say 69, 69 for the 70, 69 for the one who gives salam, 1 for the one who replies. So initiating salam is very, very important. Some of the etiquettes of salam are as follows. Let me just discuss this very quickly with salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. The etiquettes are as follows: to say it loudly and clearly. Sometimes I don't know what kind of salam we are giving. Sometimes it's hard to even understand that has this person given me salam or not, the way we say it. But to say it loudly and clearly. Number 2, the mounted one should say it to the one on foot. So in our time, I don't know, I guess the one in the car should say it to the one who's outside of the car, maybe we can say. The younger one should say it to the older one. The individual one should say it to the group. The one who is standing should say it to the one who is sitting. Always saying it to fellow Muslimin. And to avoid saying salam to someone because of the special position they have in society. So like, it's not like, oh, well, this person's a poor person, so, you know, I don't need to say salam to him. But wow, a rich person walks in. Oh, salamun alaykum rahmatullah. That shouldn't be the case. For us, this rich, poor, whatever it is, it's irrelevant. We let Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala decide that. We let Allah have that in His hands. For us, every mu'min is aziz, every mu'min is dear, every mu'min is qimti, is valuable for us. The other thing about salam, try your best that when someone says salam, you say it in a better way. So if someone says salamun alaykum, you say alaykum salam wa rahmatullah. If he says salamun alaykum wa rahmatullah, you say alaykum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Because we have this in the Quran, right? وَإِذَا خُيِّيتُم بِتَحِيَّةٍ فَحَيُّوا بِأَحْسَنٍ مِّنْهَا أَوْ رُدُّوهَا. O you who believe, when you are given a greeting, greet at least with similar, if not better. Try and be better. If not better, then at least similar to what you received. This was shown in the blessed life of Abu Abdullah himself, a maid servant. One of his maid servants brought him a bunch of flowers. Said, Mawla, this is for you. She brought him a bunch of flowers. In response, he says, you are now azad, I free you. The people said, Mawla, all she did was give you flowers. Oh, that's all she did. She didn't do something very big. She gave you flowers. And you in return freed her. Mawla, what is this? He says, look at the words of Allah. Hayyu bi'ahsani minha or rudduha. Either return it or better to give something better than it. There was nothing better than that I could give her except for that I freed her. Aimah Muslim used to really act upon these things. Used to really act upon these things. وَصُحْبَةَ الْكِرَامِ. And give me the company of the noble ones, the good people of society. Azizan, especially for the parents, I would like to stress, when you're choosing friends for your children or your children have friends, be very careful. Give them good friends. Make sure they hang around with good people. People who are going to benefit them, people who are going to add to their development in a positive way, in a spiritual sense. Some people say, yes, but you know, the kids of the community are sometimes worse than other kids. Look, let's not look at it in that sense. What we want to say is this. At the end of the day, you are only looking at one dimension. The other dimension is that our children of the community, yes, sometimes they may not be very well behaved, but they have iman, they have wilayat, they have a belief in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That in itself holds a lot of value. Let us not diminish that and devalue that. We give the final hadith of this night to Imam Muhammad Baqir alayhi salam. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad. Imam says, Ittabi' man yubkika wa huwa laka nasir. He says, it's better you make friends with someone who may make you cry, but he advises you in the right way. He may make you cry. You may not have a very good time with him. You may think he's boring or whatever. It's better you keep contact and friendship with him if he guides you, even though you might think he's boring. وَلَا تَتَّبِعْ, and do not spend time, do not follow man yudhikuka, who may make you laugh, you enjoy his company. وَهُوَ لَكَ غَاشٍ, but he is someone who fools you, cons you, makes you go into the wrong things, misguides you. وَسَتَرِدُونَ عَلَى اللَّهِ جَمِيعًا فَتَعْلَمُونَ. Just remember, Imam says, that you will all soon enter into the presence of Allah in the hereafter, if only you knew. Be aware. Look at the company you keep. Look at the people you hang around with. Look at the time you spend with people. We don't want to be rude to anyone. We don't want to dismiss anyone. We definitely don't want to be arrogant and think ourselves as holier than thou. But there are times when we are in gatherings and we know this is having a negative impact upon me. This is having a negative spiritual effect upon me. Those things we have to be very careful and limit them, inshallah. Pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for tawfiq, for His grace, for His mercy, for His kindness to help the community, to keep us united, to keep us strong and stable, inshallah. Oh Allah, hasten the appearance of our 12th Imam. Give a long life to all the ulama. Give a long life to Ayatollah Sistani, Ayatollah Khamina, Ayatollah Makarim, all of the Maraji Idham. Oh Allah, help our community at all times. Oh Allah, help all those who are sick and in need. We have Janab Baqir Razavi, Sultan Bhai, Unki Ahliya, Sayyid Ihtisham, Sister Salma Ladak, and all of the Maris and Bimar throughout the world. Oh Allah, give them Shifaya Ajil and Kamil. Oh Allah, bless the marhumin of the sponsors tonight, fulfill their hajat, fulfill their du'as and their supplications, accept from them in this holy month. Bless them marhumin, give them a high status in the hereafter. Let's remember all our maris and the bimar and all those who are in problems with 5 times Amma Yujib. Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Amma yujibu al-muttarra idha da'ahu wa yakshifu as-su'. 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 Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Inshallah, tomorrow we'll be commemorating the shahadat of Bibi Khadija. We'll be looking into some aspects of her life and how it can benefit us and the lessons we can draw from it, especially with regard to family life, husband and wife life, family issues. Inshallah, that will be our topic for tomorrow in light of the great personality of Bibi Khadija. For the quick zuhur of Imam Zaman, let's have 3 loud salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
السلام عليك يا رسول الله، السلام عليك يا نبي الله، السلام عليك يا محمدا عبد الله، السلام عليك يا خاتم النبيين، السلام عليك يا أمير المؤمنين علي بن أبي طالب، السلام عليك يا فاطمة الزهراء سيدة نساء العالمين، السلام عليك يا خديجة الكبرى أم المؤمنين والمؤمنات، السلام عليك يا أبا محمد الحسن، السلام عليك يا أبا عبد الله وعلى الأرواح التي خلت بفنائك، عليكم جميعا سلام الله أبدا ما بقيت وبقي الليل والنهار، ولا جعل الله آخر العهد مني لزيارتكم. All together. السلام على الحسين وعلى علي بن الحسين وعلى أولاد الحسين وعلى أصحاب الحسين خصوصا سيدي مولاي أبو الفضل العباس وأختك زينب كلثوم وبنتك سكينة وقاسم بن الحسن ومسلم بن أكيل وهاني بن أروى وحبيب بن مظاهر والحر الشهيد الرياعي. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. السلام عليك يا علي بن الحسين زين العابدين. السلام عليك يا محمد الباقر. السلام عليك يا جعفر الصادق. السلام عليك يا موسى الكاظم. السلام عليك يا علي بن موسى الرضا. السلام عليك يا محمد التقي الجواد. السلام عليك يا علي النكي. السلام عليك يا حسن العسكري. السلام عليك يا صاحب الزمان. السلام عليك يا شريك القرآن. السلام عليك يا كعبة الإيمان. السلام عليك يا إمام الإنس والجان. عجل الله فرجك وسخر الله مخرجك ورزقني الله في الدنيا زيارتك وفي الآخرة شفاعتك. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. اللهم كن لوليك الحجة ابن الحسن صلواتك عليه وعلى في هذه الساعة وفي كل ساعة وليا وحافظا وقائدا وناصرا ودليلا وعينا حتى تسكنه أرزك طوعا وتمتعه فيها طويلا برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. الصلوات.
اللهم صل على محمد